Hey guys, Cheesette Cowan, the CEO of Real Estate, excited to talk to you again today about limiting beliefs and mindset and how coaching helps you with that. Just did a dry run of this and I'm excited about this topic because it's a topic that I really feel like is going to really help people that are stuck at whatever level they're at in their business get to the next level. So I'm going to start by giving you a staggering statistic. Do you realize that 95% of people want a better life? They want to live better. They want to have better relationships. They want to have better opportunities. They want to drive better cars. They want to have better jobs. They want to have better businesses. 95%. If you ask them, hey, do you want a different or a better life? They're going to say yes. Here's the staggering statistic, and it hurt me when I heard it. Only 5% of the people will do what it takes to have that better life. So, of course, I'm a researcher, so when I see those statistics, I'm like, okay, if only 5% of the people are doing what it takes to actually have a better life, what's going on with these 95? Because the 95 is, in this case, the majority, right? And we know this because this is why 1 to 2% of the world's population account for all of the wealth in the world, right? Because that's literally the statistic. So here's what I asked myself. Of those 95% of people, why are they unwilling to do what it takes to go forward? A lot of times it's not because they don't know what to do. It's not because they don't have the heart to go get it. It's not because they don't work hard. Because here's the thing, a lot of these people in that 95% realm, they work their behinds off. Here's the thing, it's limiting beliefs. Limiting beliefs are holding them back and keeping them stuck. And if we don't really talk about that piece, we're going to do things and never get to our goals because even though we're doing it's like a hamster wheel. So I want to talk about outside influences. We internalize values, judgments, and perceptions that come to us in our formative years through our family, our relatives, our parents, our school teachers. And the things that they say to us at those young ages bring what we call judgments. And judgments are, when I say judgments, there's a lot of different ways to use the word judgments, but judgments are just a determined course. So, for example, I live in Tampa, 75 south brings you to Brandon. That road has been judged. It goes to Brandon. So judgment is not a bad thing. Judgment is just a determination of how this is going to play out. So with the judgments that we make about things that we see, actually, especially at a young age, do you realize when you're 40, you will never remember that? It is so deep into your subconscious that somebody has to go in there and guide you to it and out of it. That's how you get unstuck. Because I'll give you some of my limiting beliefs just as an example. One of my limiting beliefs was that, and I was talking to Wendy about this, one of my limiting beliefs was that children slow you down. So I love kids, but I didn't want any kids because I know that I'm very driven. And I was like, I don't want any kids because kids are going to slow you down. Where did that come from, right? Where did that come from? That came from watching people have children and then I felt like they gave up on all their dreams. Now, here's the thing. I was probably 6 or 7 years old. My judgments were probably all wrong. This is the thing about kids. The kids are the best observers, the worst interpreters. They will tell you exactly what they saw and think they can interpret it. They don't know because they don't have the mental faculty to interpret it. They just see what they saw. So I probably saw something and thought that, and you know, because I'm from the hood, a lot of people had kids very young. So they're 13, 14, can't go to the prom, can't go to, after school stuff, can't do stuff. And I just was like, oh, I don't want those limitations in my life. I am good, right? And then what happened is I met my husband and the first time we got pregnant, the very first time. And then now I have these little babies. And I looked at them and I said, I don't have to be limited because I'm a mom. See, I had developed a growth mindset. So how you get out of that limiting belief position and being stuck is by developing a growth mindset. So here's what a growth mindset does. A growth mindset doesn't take a hard stance. And when I say doesn't take a hard stance, a lot of times we will talk a lot about, I'm secure in this and this is what I believe and I'm not changing from this or that. Well, here's the thing. When you have a growth mindset, you're going to position yourself to understand that fear is not finite, failure is not finite, that this is that you're on a journey, and that everything works for you, and that even if I don't get the opportunity, I'm going to learn something from it, and then I'm going to use that in a subsequent thing to go forward. But if you never get to that point where you begin to come out of those limiting beliefs, you're going to stay stuck. The growth mindset will help you navigate out of that space. We become that way by having somebody guide us into those thought processes that are limiting our growth. So when I said I didn't want to have children, I love children. I did want children in my heart. I just didn't want to be limited. What the growth mindset helped me realize is ding, ding, ding. You can have kids and you can do it without being limited. How cool is that? Go figure. And here's the thing. I never saw anybody do that. I saw people have kids and they shut down their travel. I can't go anywhere because I got kids. I saw people have kids and say, I cannot be fit because I got kids. Shut all of that down. So I now have the understanding that there are no limitations in life except the ones that are hidden in your subconscious. And if you can go dig those up and you can get ahead of that, you can live a life without those limitations. So if you see me, I take my kids everywhere. I travel with them. My kids have been to international places. Why? Because these are the things that I always wanted to do in life. The fact that I have kids doesn't mean that I can't do them. My kids now get to experience these things with me, and they get to see a life with no limitations. I don't want my daughter to feel like she has to choose between being a wife and being an attorney if that's what she chooses to do. You can be a wife and an attorney. You can be an astronaut and you can be a good sister. There are no limitations except the ones that go in that you place on yourself. So now what coaching does is it helps you find a new way of thinking and looking at things, and typically it's going to be with a growth mindset. So now you can start to challenge those old beliefs and rewrite the script of your life so that you can do something different. If you are in a place where this resonates with you, if you keep having things come up in your life, limitations and different things that you know that you keep going back to, the way out of that is growth mindset. The way to get to a growth mindset is through coaching, because coaching is going to help you make sense of those judgments. So here's what I'm saying about a judgment. The example for real estate that I could use is cold calling, right? So an incident, there's an incident or something happens, an incident. So let's just say cold call. What happens is cold calling, you'll make a judgment about, you either respond or react to cold calling. So you call, somebody hangs up. Don't call me. I hate realtors. Click. So then what you say is cold calling doesn't work. So now your response is negative. So now you made a judgment. Cold calling doesn't work. And let me tell you how powerful your brain is. It never wants to be wrong. You're going to always find people to support your insanity. So you'll be at the water cooler at work. Yeah, Cheesette wants us to cold call, but cold calling don't work. And they'll be like, you right, it don't work. I tried it and it don't work. And then now, because you made a judgment about it and you've got evidence to support that story, your brain has now adopted that as a belief. And then now that's going to be your reality. Cold calling will never work for you. Now, let me bring that back a bit. If you ask Jeff Glover, does cold calling work? He'll tell you absolutely. If you ask Justin Ford, does cold calling work? Absolutely. They close 100 deals a year from cold calling. Cold calling works. What happens is, this is what the growth mindset does. You get a cold call, they hang up on you. I hate realtors, never call me again. You don't respond to that inappropriately. You don't react to that inappropriately. You respond accordingly. Okay, they hung up on me. They're not looking to sell. My next person will be looking to sell. So I'm going to dial again. I know that if I get to the no's quickly, that there's a yes somewhere along the line. So then now you create a new judgment. Cold calling works. I just have to get to my yes. Then you get to the water cooler, and instead of saying cold calling doesn't work, you say, hey, it has been hard this week cold calling, but I am confident that I am closer to my yes today than I was yesterday. And then now your brain starts to adopt that as a belief, and you have a new reality, and you begin to experience and soar and have supernatural success in cold calling. Why? Because the way the cycle played out for you when you had an incident, you were able to create the right responses, have the right judgments, then have the right supporting evidence, and then now that creates your reality. What about all these things that happened to you when you were younger that were negative, that you didn't have the right responses, the right judgment, the right support, and now that's created where you are now? Coaching is going to help you uncover some of that stuff so you can get unstuck and now start to create a new reality for yourself. If you are in this space and you are looking for support, I would love to help you. This is my jam. Like, this is what I do. So click the link and let's connect.